guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video we're going through my AFL Fantasy team reveal for the second time this year as we edge closer to round 1, which starts in 53 days, which is the start of the AFL Fantasy season. And of course we have a slightly annoying round 0, which starts, I believe, in 46 days. It might be 47, but I believe it's a week. I still think it's on the Thursday. So we have that as well, which will be really exciting just to get footy back as well, as we will have the practice games and obviously intra-clubs are going on at the moment. So a lot of just, I guess, training content to decipher and sort of, I guess, not look too heavily into it, but then at the same time also just sort of see the obvious things at the moment, rule out the players that are currently injured, I feel like, at the moment, or have injuries for the next little bit, etc. As, yeah, we know we don't really like the injured guys to carry them in the season. Obviously, there probably is still going to be a couple that I will carry. There is one guy that I know was injured but is already back, that I still think is a must. But anyway, let's just jump into this video. So if we go here, I hope this is still working. Yep. Let's just go from the top here. So as you can see, and this is one thing I'm working heavily on doing this season, and I'm gonna sort of talk about it but then also reveal it at the end, because it has all of the names that I'm considering, and I don't want to just sort of give it away particularly, because it has so many names. It's not too bad actually, but this is sort of the document that I was sort of referencing. As you can see here, you've got sort of the role, as in defender, midfield, ruck and forwards, and then you've got the position in line, and then D1 through to D8. I should probably actually put a border around, where is the border, outside, and these guys have 8, so this is just on the fly sort of thinking here, but I think that will also help me to separate it a little bit better. But yeah, I think that separates it a little bit better for you guys to see. But you sort of have on the field, and then the bench slots are there. I think that sorts it a little bit better. I don't know why that's just the selected cell. But anyway, yeah, you can sort of see all my selections there and how I've sort of, there's a lot of mess to go through. These will probably get taken down a lot. But I think one thing that I'm going to do heavily this year, well, at least do in that week in between round 0 and round 1, is restart the team and then just focus it on rookies, depending on round 0 scores. We know that. But also I think some of the round 0 guys could still have a really good role that I like better than the round 1 starters. So yeah, it will certainly be interesting. Obviously, we hope that there's no subs for there, but these lists will slowly grow larger, I have a feeling. And then you'll have sort of must-haves, I feel like, in each line here at the moment. But yeah, that might even change, even though that I've said that they're must-haves. But to start, we have, and I don't like how I'm zoomed in too far, that it's like almost done negative zoom on these guys. Or going backwards on zoom. Save that. So Jack Sinclair, currently the D1. I think he's the safest option to go near and about what the safest option to go within a point or two of what he's done in the last couple of years and what he's priced at. So that's the reason why he's there. I also think that it'll be totally team dependent, but if they do have Travalia and Schoenmaker back there, I think Sinclair will potentially be able to pick up some points, because I feel like the points lost from Wanganeen and Malira moving onto the wing potentially, but I feel like Wanganeen and Malira is probably just, this is all hypothetical, but if Wanganeen and Malira moves up to the wing rather than halfback, I feel like he might lose 5-10 points. That won't be sort of, I guess, made up again or something in the sort of defensive line or whatever. I may be wrong in my maths there, but yeah, I really think that Sinclair is just a consistent sort of top 8 type of guy, and we also don't know the roles of a lot of the defenders at the moment. She's obviously could have a down year in his role, especially with Parker and stuff coming in there. and a lot of other midfielders, so he could potentially have a slightly down year and still go 100, 105 and be a top 8, but he might not be absolute. Lockie Whitfield, he's going to have a mega role. Zorko as well, he could move depending on Coleman. Who else is up there? Flanders as well. He's shifting into the midfield, I would think. So I would think he holds the same value, or same average, sorry, but just different characteristics. But anyway, we'll move on from that. At the moment, I have Bailey Dale here, and this is because he does have a couple of sub games, if my memory is correct. Let me just go down here. Has a 14, and also, does he have any other sub games? No, just the 14. If I'm guessing, you remove the 14. Do I have a calculator with me? I do, 1 second. 23 times, so you've got 2130 minus 14 is 2116. Divide that by 22 games instead, and you get him at a 96.1. So there's already 3.1 points baked into him of value. And from what I remember, the Bulldogs didn't get any halfbacks from memory, and so I think he gets that lead role. I don't think Caleb Daniel played any halfback in the last year, but it will just be interesting to see if he can take that next jump. But he's someone that I feel like you can take the risk on, Bailey Dale, just because... we also saw Ed Richards move into the midfield. Could he stay in that midfield and open up the way for Bailey Dale? I don't remember if he has... Let's actually just check the fixture. How many games against the Swans does he have? He's only got 1 game against the Swans, and only 1 game against the Hawks. Yes, only 1 game against the Hawks. So he's also, and this is something you'll see here, if we go to it, and I know that you're going to see the Swans here and see 111 and a 91, which isn't actually the worst for him. But those were some of his harder games, just trying to get the ball a lot. So yeah, I have a feeling, and he also, I think, had I don't know what happened in this game, but he had a stinker here. Maybe he got tagged as well in that 45. But the good thing for him is that if we actually look at it, it looks like he, other than this 160, and I mean, he did have a couple of 130 and a 120, but it looks like a lot of his scores are in that 100 to 90 range as well. So I feel like he could easily just get off the chain if he's let free a little bit. So I have a feeling that he's going to be the type of guy that I look for. Then you have here, and that's sort of glitching in and out. But anyway, Jaden Short's my D3. I think he was in there as well around the marker. I just think without the early buy, I have a feeling that with the Richmond defense, and I've pretty much talked about this and I'll talk about it again. I think I'm doing a Jaden Short preview. I just have a feeling that he gets back to his best, which is a 94, 95, is it a 97 maybe, I think? Somewhere around that marker. And him around that 97 marker is, massive money. That's like 20 points of value almost, or 15 points of value. And that's a stepping stone type of player, so that we navigate through until Whitfield is off the bye, till we know what Sheasel's going to be averaging, give or take. That's the type that I want out of Jaden Short. Callum Mills, I'm not certain at all what the heck's he going to play at the moment. He's really tracking well fitness-wise, which is a good thing, but also the Swans are focusing so heavily on fitness as well. So it might almost bring up those rear players to Sheldrick to enough that he has enough in the tank to be able to play. So if Sheldrick's getting time, that means Mills is playing in defence. Unless they put Chad Warner fully at half forward, which is not going to happen. Callum Mills he's round 0 dependent, easily 100% round 0 dependent and role dependent there. Kitty Coleman, because even if Callum Mills gets a 70 but has the right role, there is so much ease in just getting someone else and then just being like, well, we'll see you in 4 weeks' time, because you've only got they've got the round 3 bye, so they've only got another 2 weeks of scoring. He's not going to get away in that 2 weeks, I don't think. So, yeah, that's the reason there, if he was to have a really bad score, and that's why he's probably more score dependent than role dependent. Kitty Coleman, 521k, yep. He's a smash pick if he starts. It's simple as that. He could easily disrupt Zorko, which Zorko could easily drop 20, 30 points or whatever. That is so easy for Zorko to drop that quickly. And yeah, Kitty Common, he may be nursed back in, but we're just going to hope and wait about that. Toby Travalia, one of the draftees, I think he's probably the most set in stone to score well, probably. And also I need just guys that are going to score in this backline because, yeah, Bo Allen's stats don't really score too well, I don't think. But he was also, I think, playing senior, so it wasn't Colts where Colts, against the junior bodies, he also probably was in a little bit of a worse position in the Colts side. So, yeah, I have a feeling he's going to score pretty well. That could even just be 70s, honestly, in the back line. Syed Al-Hali I'm gonna butcher it so many times, but yeah, he was scoring really well in the VFL for the Northern Bull Ants before getting picked up in the mid-season draft for Essendon. So yeah, really, really intrigued about him. If we go back over to this sheet, you will see that other names that have sort of floated across the desk are Caleb Smith, I think it is. He might be in the utility. Just wait and watch that. As well as Gibcus and Zach Reed here. You can sort of see how I've ordered them that I probably wouldn't have Allen in the D8 spot, but I'd have other guys like Gibcus and Reed, etc., etc. So you can sort of see how I've ordered it down a little bit. Guys that missed out, Farrell as well. I just want to watch that roll, even though I've who gets the increase, even though we've already sort of there's been a lot of content creation about it. Perriman as well, pretty much similar to Mills, and then Schoenmaker as well if he gets the slot there because Battle did leave. That'll be interesting. And yeah, you can see that as well as Wangani, Malira, Short, Farrell, Mills, sort of, I mean, a lot of guys there. And Flanders also on that early buy, but I feel like he could be one that gets away from us if he does get a really good role. So he's around 0 watch. Onto the midfield. Bont hasn't left, I don't think, the side. I think I've had him for like 3 straight years. He had a down year last year, has North to open up, which could be very, very interesting. Definitely a captain option there. Then he has Carlton Freo, and then the Brisbane Lions. So he's definitely an interesting one to look at. I think he's going to potentially bounce back this year. Especially if English can learn how to ruck with the new ruck rules from last year. So he's one that's definitely in that conversation there. Andy Brayshaw, another one, especially now that we know that Sam Walsh is out for, or did his hamstring. I believe it was 4 weeks or 2 to 3 without running or whatever. But he's had an interrupted preseason for the 4th time in a row. So no-go zone type areas. So yeah, that is why he's on the no-go zone. Adam Treloar was dealing with some type of niggle, I want to say, in the preseason, but nothing major. Not like a Sam Walsh major news. Zach Merritt is Zach Merritt, and he has the early. Goulden has the early. Flanders would be defensive line. Dunkley has the early, and Jack Steele is someone that I've also considered for that M1, M2 spot. Tim Taranto, I just feel like there's value somewhere in this Tigers lineup. I know we know about the rookies and stuff like that, but yeah, I just have a feeling that Tim Taranto was the value guy, so definitely an interesting one. Clayton Oliver, I feel like he's going to be M4, M5, no matter what. So he's just the obvious choice, I feel like. And you got to almost ride the wave with everyone else at his price point, just because he's either going to do really, really bad, really bad again, and pretty much be priced at 70, or he's going to do tremendously well with the full preseason, and suddenly he's going to be averaging 100, 105, and you're just going to be laughing. And to those that don't pick him, it's sort of season over. So yeah, with these value picks, you kind of have to go with I almost feel like you have to go with the crowd a little bit, because then you can diverse away. Whereas it's hard to almost have a pod value pick and to go to go and try and get back onto what the crowd has, because usually they'll be ungettable at that point. Sam Doherty is someone that's definitely been in, out, and around in this side. I'm not confident, even with Nick Newman going down with his patella out for the whole 2025 season. I think he's going to be a wait and watch type of player through preseason, the role that he gets, because you have Ollie Hollands back there and some other things. So yeah, Sam Doherty, someone that I am not confident with. He's probably not going to be in the side for the next team reveal. So yeah, that's definitely a wait and watch. James Pitling as well, I think someone that I could go. I've certainly also sort of, and you'll see this with the side itself, like I could easily go like a Doherty down to someone, and then go a Callum Mills up to like a Harry Sheezel or something like that. I could go that, because I'm pretty confident Harry Sheezel still goes like 105, 106, at least, and he could easily go 110, 112, but certainly a guy that I'm not too confident about the organisation of I'm not too confident of the absolute organisation of each line in terms of primos, mid-prices and rookies, but I'm pretty confident that I'm within one change, mostly of a mid-pricer down to a mid-pricer down to a rookie in this line, a mid-pricer up to a primo in this line, and yeah, that's sort of what I'm looking at, I think, at the moment. In that way, Peatling is someone that I'm probably going to have. I just have a feeling that he probably goes 90s and is a good stepping stone. Price at 61. Yeah, if he can just go, he's playing St Kilda. If he can just go against St Kilda, what did he put up? He averages 40 against them. Well, that's not the kindest look there. Yeah, we need him to be playing Melbourne. Thank you. But yeah, he's had so many sub games that I'm pretty sure he averages like 92 non-sub. So yeah, let's just hope he is in that A side in that midfield, providing a point of difference. But yeah, someone that I'm certainly considering is certainly in the mix. Jagger Smith, with the Nick Newman injury, it's interesting to see the ripple effects of this, because you've got obviously Doherty probably affected, Holland's probably affected, and I have a feeling it could actually help out the job security and the point scoring of Jagger Smith, because we've seen that he sort of told everyone that he's going to be playing midfield plus also resting at halfback. Could he play a combination of midfield wing halfback combo and sort of just be on the ground? Because if he does, I feel like with his ability to gather the pill, he just needs to be out there. And if the options are opening up for him just to be out there on the field, I feel like that's the best opportunity. I feel like he's probably going to be the best rookie out there now. I don't know so much about Sid Draper, even though there was a lot of raps about Sid Draper, and I was pretty high on him. I'm obviously still going to start Sid Draper, but I feel like he's one that could... well, I mean, if he lines up in round 0, he'll definitely be a guy that I start, but there's sort of been mixed reporting about him, I guess. Xavier Lindsay, I remember saying that he was probably the guy that I thought would be the best scorer. Yeah, out of the rookies, sorry. And I still feel like he's going to be up there. I still feel like he gets that halfback role, or a portion halfback role at least. I still feel like he averages 70 or so. But we'll just have to wait and see on that front. I still think he's had some interruptedness to his preseason, but I don't think it's as bad as some other guys. So hopefully he does well. Levi's AFL ready for the last 18 months. So yeah, 18, 24 months or so. So he will slot right in. He might play half forward and a little bit on ball, but I still feel like that can average 70, and 70 is enough for a rookie. You're not going to get much better. And then you see my my ruck line, and I'll just open up the floor, and you can see Caleb Smith here at the moment. I would like to save a little bit of cash there to be able to go to someone else in the midfield line, because that's where the money makers are going to be, like a Josh Smiley, etc. But anyway, that could be created just from Doherty down and Sheezel up, Mills up, etc. But you see here that I've got Rowan Marshall. If you actually look at Rowan Marshall's stats, I'll do a deep dive of that when I do a Marshall review, because that's one of the planned ones. His stats when he actually plays less ruck time is amazing. It's actually freakish, so we'll just leave it at that. And also, it is January 19th at the moment of time of recording. The SSP closes, I think, in early Feb or mid-Feb. They still haven't signed that guy yet. I don't know what's going on, whether they're just waiting, etc., whether it's effectively all signed and sealed, etc. But they still haven't signed that guy, and he did have Tom Campbell as a reasonable backup. That's now the Melbourne backup for a couple years, and Tom Campbell barely played. So Rowan Marshall as a solo ruck, one of the best in the comp. As a duo ruck with like 50% ruck time, is one of the best players to have. So yeah, if he is soloing, definitely a grab. I feel like, because there's not much change in that St Kilda midfield, to be honest. And if he is duo, but the majority, I still feel like he's a really good value pick. Sean Darcy, he looks a lot better. I know that he came back a little bit he came back a little bit weaker after Christmas, but I still feel like this is his year. And I feel like with early injuries, I feel like it will be a lot easier to maneuver around a little bit and cover the potential injury risk with Sean Darcy. Because if Sean Darcy gets off to a flyer, the season is almost like he can make it up so quickly. Like, I know that these are like 70s and 80s and stuff like that he scored. He did score a 111, had an injury 31, but he hasn't looked this good in a while, I don't think. Those are still the same stats. He averaged 95 the year before that in 2023. The year before that in 2022, I don't know if he averaged 85. The year before that, he averaged 93. And the year before that, 51 in 2020, 2019, etc. So he's never been the big scorer. But I think a lot of the reason why that is the case is he has had some injury games. If we actually just go to DFS, then we go to player summaries, etc. And then we go to Sean Darcy. I just feel like he's not a guy that's going to be impacted by the likes of Luke Jackson. So if we look at his 2024 campaign and look at the non-injury scores here, there we go. Those are the non-injury scores. 10 games, 84.2. If we look at when he's had over a decent amount of ruck time here as well, he averaged 83 in 6 games. If we go to 2023, that's an impeded game there. So if we look at anything above sort of 70% ruck time in 2023, if we look at that there, you'll see that he averaged 105 in 12 games in 2023, and he's in much better shape than he was last year, in my opinion. As you see, he started off the year injured in 2024, and he's come back, I think, a lot fitter, which is putting a lot less stress on his body, as well as he's actually getting a preseason. So there's that, as well as these are the ruck splits he's going to get. If you even just did that and took out the one bad game in 2023, the 2 injured games, he goes up to a 102. If he's averaging 102, that's plus 24. You can easily jump to a Sherry after we see what he's doing, a Max Gorn, etc. So that's why I'm sort of willing to take the risk, because if we even look back at 2022 and his ruck time there, when he actually rucked full time, pretty much. Let's just see. Which one is the one that I want? Okay, it's the ruck contest here. So 2022, this is the ones that I want in the 70s plus. You'll see that it's not the greatest, but it's also not the absolute worst that he's done here when he rucked 70 plus. Or 69% plus, etc. He averages 93. So when he just rucks and isn't injured, he actually averages a quite fair amount. And yeah, so I'm pretty happy to take that risk, I feel like, with Sean Darcy, as I feel like he's just hidden his prime at the moment. Anyway, Livingston, we've had that loop. Everyone pretty much has that loop. Then you've got McRae, Philippou, Smith, Caleb Daniel. That is stock standard. I have thought about having a it's not Fraser McGurk, that is the wrong nickname, Horn Francis, sorry. And also considered a ranker now with what we're hearing out of Adelaide, as I do like that that role's heating up just fractionally. But at the moment, I've got Kako and Hewitt in there. In there, I don't like this Kako selection. I honestly would almost rather this, to be honest with you. But Kako, we've heard good sort of shouts about him. He could easily go to like a Rasmus or something like that. But we'll just have to wait and see. I really like, obviously, Hewitt. That's an obvious one. Dan Curtin, that feels like an obvious one, going with the crowd at the moment for Dan Curtin. And then Caden Cleary hasn't got much love, but I'm happy to take that on, as I really high hopes of Caden Cleary. I think he gets that small forward role. I don't think I think they have to play him. They need speed in that forward line, but obviously could be wrong. He wasn't included in their grand final team, but I just have this feeling that he's taken that next step in the off season, as well as the departure of Luke Parker opens up a role. And so I think that Caden Cleary is going to take that step, that leap there. And obviously you see the bench now of Curtin, Kako, and Caleb Smith. So anyway, that is the video there going through my AFL Fantasy Team Reveal 2.0. You'll have the Supercoach team reveal, which obviously it's Supercoach much similar to Fantasy in terms of the players, as well as the fact that I'm trying not to switch it too much. So you'll see, I think there's probably 25, 26 of the same players. Tim Taranto, I don't think, is the one non-rookie that I don't have in Supercoach. So yeah, pretty similar. But anyway, that is the video. If you did enjoy it, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on. If you are listening on Spotify, give me a follow and a rating over there, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Supercoach Team Reveal 2.0. So see you guys then. Bye guys.